Now it's time to move on to the business news for you now. All eyes are set on Frankfurt this Thursday, in fact, as the European Central Bank is meant to announce, another interest rate hike. And Charles Pellegrin, our business editor, with me here on set. He's going to tell us more about it. Charles.
Absolutely, Stuart. And it could be the largest regular interest rate increase in the history of the institution, which was founded in 1998. Policymakers will be meeting in the German financial hub around midday this Thursday, and will be making their announcement at 2:15 p.m. local time. Their main objective is to tame soaring inflation in the Eurozone. It reached an all-time high of 9.1% in August, pushed by the increases in the price of energy brought on by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And they're hoping to keep those prices in check by lifting the rate that banks have to pay in order to get funds from the ECB. They'd already hiked rates in July from negative territory to 0%, but analysts are this time expecting an increase somewhere between 0.5% and 0.75%, as you can see up there to the left of your screen. Well, this is quite a change of pace for the ECB. Between 2014 and this July, its objective was to keep economic growth afloat with negative interest rates. So this is a bit of a conundrum because there's also concern for growth in the Eurozone in the current energy crisis context. The ECB will also be announcing forecasts for inflation and GDP growth this Thursday in that regard. EU Economic Affairs Commissioner Paolo Gentiloni has warned that the threat of a recession was rising. And investors will be paying close attention to that meeting and also to a speech by U.S. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell later in the day. The American institution also expected to raise its rate later this month. As you can see, European markets this hour are all trending upwards. The FTSE in London up by 1/3%, the Paris CAC 40 up by almost 0.5%, and the DAX in Frankfurt up by above 0.5%. In Asia, we're seeing mixed trading this hour, with the Nikkei in Tokyo closing above 2.31%. The Shanghai Composite down by 1/3%. The Hang Seng in Hong Kong down by close to 1%, and the Caspian Seoul up by 1/3%. Now, on the agenda as well today, the UK's new Prime Minister Liz Truss will be presenting her plan to tackle soaring energy bills. She's expected to announce to MPs that bills will be frozen at about £2,500 a year until 2024. It's part of a support package that would cost up to £130 billion funded by taxpayers. It's also understood that she'll announce the controversial and immediate end on a halt on fracking for shale gas as part of her push for greater energy security. And 14 iPhones in, and Apple keeps looking for new features and products that will keep driving growth. The California company unveiled 2 new versions of the iPhone on Wednesday, both featuring emergency satellite communication and improved cameras. The launch also an opportunity to show the company is holding steady in a difficult economic context. Joseph Keane has more.
Better cameras, a new satellite messaging feature, and the same price. Apple has decided to keep its latest iPhone 14 at just $799, the same as last year's model.
People love iPhone, and it's an important part of our daily lives. We're constantly challenging ourselves to raise the bar, to make it better and even more loved. So let's take a look at the new iPhone.
By keeping iPhone prices the same, Apple faces the risk of undermining its profits, with inflation driving up costs. However, a global decline in smartphone sales has so far not affected Apple, with sales increasing by 8%. The tech giant has also revealed its new AirPod Pro and Ultra watch, a sports product which will be a true test of the firm's inflationary resolve.
Obviously, the Watch Ultra is expensive, but look, it's not for everybody, right? You know, they didn't mention the cost of the Oceanic app. That's, I'm sure, going to not be cheap. Again, if you're a hardcore hiker or ultra marathoner, then that kind of stuff is going to be cool, but that's a pretty small portion of the population.
The International Data Corporation has recently doubled its own prediction in the decline of worldwide smartphone shipments in 2022, whilst the research firm has estimated prices will go up by 6%. Apple earned $44 billion in profit in the first half of this year.
And could the next niche internet content to go big be about frugality? Patterde top Luachai has become a social media sensation in Thailand thanks to his TikTok videos of him shopping at his local supermarket on a very tight budget of 4,000 baht per month. That's just below $110. The 29-year-old shares tips on frugal living in a context of rising inflation in the country. Consumer prices in Thailand have actually gone up close to 8% since August last year. His trick is buying cheap food in bulk and then dividing it in small portions. So if you have any tips in this inflationary context as well, Stuart, I invite you to share them with the audience.
Perhaps I'll put it on TikTok as well. It looks like a good idea. Hopefully it'll save people a little bit of money. Charles, thanks very much. Charles Pellegrin with business here on France 24.